We are starting the NFL week out 1-0 as we took the Chicago Bears. On Thursday, we pulled off a 16-0 win over the Miami Dolphins. It is time for NFL Rapid Fire. For this week, where I give you a quick recap of Sundays, or today's, I guess, rather, NFL action. Hello, everybody. Jonathan Lozad here for Jam Sports 100 and jamsports.org. Let's take a look at the action for Week 11 in the NFL this week. We kick things off with Baltimore and Carolina. Carolina is in big trouble, obviously. And obviously, you're saying, well, they've been in big trouble all year. Yes, they have been. But they are having major quarterback issues, and this Baltimore team is not a team that you want to face if you're Carolina. Vegas likes Baltimore a lot in this game, and I think a lot of people do, including me. Baltimore is still Baltimore. They're a good team. They do stumble along the way at times, but not as bad as Carolina. Carolina doesn't stumble. Carolina trips, falls, and tumbles. Here's what they do. Pretty easy pick here. Baltimore wins this game big, I believe. Buffalo and Cincinnati. This right here is a tough game to call. It's tough to say. Because Buffalo is bad, obviously. You know, they did pull off a 2-point win against the Lions last week. And I mean, when you look at that, it's hard to say that Buffalo is extremely horribly bad, because they beat Detroit. They beat an okay Detroit Lion team. I still don't think they're good. Cincinnati needs a win bad, and I think this is their chance to get one. Cincinnati is still in trouble. Cincinnati is out of the playoffs, in my mind. And the AFC North is just too competitive with the Ravens and the Steelers for the Bengals to even think about a chance, I believe. Give me Cincinnati in this game, but I think it's going to be an ugly football game. Next up, we've got the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys. Detroit, like I said, pulled off that 2-point. Okay, I'm sorry, lost by 2 last week to Buffalo. Dallas, after Wade Phillips was fired, came out just like a brand new team and made the New York Giants look like an FCS college school last week. And I think they do it again. I like the new demeanor of the Dallas Cowboys. I like Jason Garrett as head coach. Truly, I think if the Cowboys continue to win, I think right now it's Jason Garrett's job to lose. Going into next year, I think Dallas rolls again. Maybe not quite as bad as they did last week, but I think Dallas beats the Lions here today. Next up, we've got Cleveland. Cleveland and Jacksonville. Now, I believe Jacksonville is actually the favorite in this game, but they're not a favorite to me. I don't like them. I don't like them in this game. I really don't. Cleveland, I think, is who we have to like. And, and I'm just going to say, well, first of all, Cleveland, won last week and literally the final seconds of overtime. And this is something that I've been teasing and talking about all week, is this, that Cleveland sports fan that beat up, that pushed down the 8-year-old and his dad is totally pathetic. The Cleveland Browns do need to fight him, and you need to do something about that. Some sports fans are totally pathetic. That was totally uncalled for, and he gets whatever harassment he deserves. He deserves whatever harassment he gets. I've got Cleveland bouncing back and winning against Jacksonville. Not too happy. They're not going to be too happy that they lost to the Jets, even though the Jets my lock pick last week. They're not going to be too happy about it. I think they bounce back and beat Jacksonville today. Next up, we have Arizona and Kansas City. Kansas City was humiliated last week by Denver. Arizona is not a good team either. Arizona's pretty bad. Obviously, we've known that all year long. I don't really know what to say about this game. It's at Arrowhead. Arrowhead's a tough place to play. Arizona can't really play well anywhere this year. I really don't see how they're going to play well at Arrowhead. I think Kansas City is going to bounce back and beat Arizona. Don't take last week's loss as saying Kansas City is melting down. I don't think they are. Alright, that leads us to the game that everyone is talking about. Everybody around here is talking about. Green Bay Packers, Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota completely manhandled last week by Chicago. Completely annihilated. Packers were on a bye last week. Advantage Packers. Vikings are still in trouble. Sidney Rice eligible to play. I have not turned on ESPN yet, so to be honest, I don't truly know if he is playing today. He's eligible to play. I know he has to be activated by the 24th, so he has to be activated by later this week, or he is not eligible to play this season. A lot of people say Sidney Rice could play if he really wanted to. He's choosing not to because of the whole Brad Childress thing. That Vikings thing is the whole Vikings organization is a total comedy so far this year. I find it quite entertaining as a Packer fan, quite sad as a broadcaster. I've got the Packers beating the Vikings. The Packers, I think, are back on track. They're getting healthy again. They're getting their players back. And throughout the last couple weeks, they haven't been committing the penalties that they had been. They beat a good Jets team. So you gotta beat a good Jets. Well, I don't know if you call it a good Jets team, not a great Jets team. But I've got the Packers in, I think, what is going to be a 6-point Packer win. Speaking of the New York Jets, Houston Texans, New York Jets. New York is in trouble. They're winning football games, yes. Their defense is looking horrible in doing so. Houston is in trouble. They've been in trouble for the last couple of weeks. Matt Schaub had the knee problem. I don't know for sure if he's playing today or not. I'm calling for the upset here. I've got Houston to beat the Jets because I think eventually a team is going to beat the Jets. The Lions couldn't do it. The Browns couldn't do it. I think Houston does it. Washington and Tennessee, the Redskins, were embarrassed last week on Monday Night Football by Michael Vick and the Philadelphia Eagles. But the Eagles are not a team to be ashamed of being embarrassed by. I mean, obviously it's a division rival, but the Philadelphia Eagles are a good team. Redskins are not a good team. Tennessee is going to come in and beat Washington. I believe Tennessee took a loss last week. They're not going to be happy. Chris Johnson is going to be able to run all over that Washington defense, I think. Just like Michael Vick did. And I've got Tennessee winning this game. Next up, we have Seattle and New Orleans. Things not looking good for Seattle in this game, I do have to say. New Orleans is one of those teams from week to week. You can't, unlike last year. Last year, you could go out and expect the Saints to put up 40 on the board. You can't expect that this year. But Seattle's not that great either. Seattle has a lot of problems. Pete Carroll is an okay NFL head coach this time around. I think him and the Seahawks will work, and I think they'll get better. I think the Saints beat the Seahawks today, though. Tampa Bay, San Francisco. Tampa Bay is good. San Francisco is not good. They just squeaked out a win last week. I've got Tampa Bay winning this game. That wasn't much of a thing, but yeah, whatever. Atlanta and St. Louis. I'm still riding the Atlanta bandwagon. Still think they're good. Louis is okay. But I think Matt Ryan, Roddy White, I think they have themselves a big game today. I think Atlanta beats St. Louis. It's my lock of the week. Yes, Atlanta is my lock of the week over St. Louis. Indy takes on New England. This has become quite the AFC rivalry. New England made Pittsburgh look horrible on Sunday night. Indy is not the explosive team that we're used to this year, or that we're used to. But and to be honest, I can't. I've got New England today. I really do. I've got New England. I think New England is the better team of the two. I've got New England today. That brings us to tonight's game, the New York Giants and Philadelphia Eagles. Michael Vick, like we said, Michael Vick and the Eagles are good. The Giants are not going to be in a very good mood after what happened against the Dallas Cowboys last week, but I've got the Philadelphia Eagles just squeaking by the New York Giants today. Next up, tomorrow night's game, Denver and San Diego. This game could go either way. San Diego is not explosive. Denver is nowhere near explosive. I've got San Diego winning the game. I think it's going to be a good game. Vegas has the spread high in San Diego's favor. I don't know why it's high. I wouldn't put it high. I don't think San Diego wins by a large margin, but I think San Diego wins the football game. Alrighty, that is going to do it for my NFL Rapid Fire for today, Week 11. Remember, we are already 1-0 on the week. 83-61 is our overall record. In Week 10, we pulled off a bad 6-8 record, so we'll see if we can turn it around. Today, I'm Jonathan Mosette from JM Sports 100 and JMSports.org.